My controlling boyfriend got me fired by forwarding my confidential work emails to everyone at my company, then proposed while I was devastated. So I accepted the ring and systematically destroyed his life from the inside out. Being Middle Eastern and growing up in Vermont meant everyone had something to call me, whether it was Plane Crasher, Curry Muncher, and Prince Alley. For my entire life, all the way through college, I didn't grow up knowing a single other Middle Eastern person. Except for my mom, she was my best friend. She knew I was getting bullied, so she stopped cooking her favorite meals just so I wouldn't go to school smelling like her food. Not only that, but she made sure to have more American friends so I would grow up around more white American kids so I could pick up their accents. None of these things worked, but I always loved and appreciated what she was doing for me. So when I was 23 and still hadn't had my first kiss, my mom insisted on helping me. She told me there was a nice Arab man she had met who was single and handsome. For those who don't know, in my culture, you don't go on dates. Instead, you immediately become engaged and move in together. And until you get married, a parent, in this case my mom, moves in with you to make sure there's no premarital intimacy. And I guess loneliness really does make you do crazy things. Because somehow, in some way, I found myself agreeing. At first, it seemed like a good decision. He'd tuck me in every night and constantly praise me for how beautiful I was. But most importantly, he treated my mom like a queen. It only took 2 days before she approved of him, and the second she did, I realized it was all a facade. One time, I surprised him with a home-cooked dinner when he got home. Ugh, he remarked with a contorted face. Not great, but it's okay. You'll improve when you're a wife. But instead of listening to my gut feeling, I tried harder to win his approval. I started waking up 2 hours early, even on weekdays, to clean the entire house top to bottom. I bought clothes in the color he always said looked nice on me. I even started going to the gym and tried to shed a few pounds, but things never got better. If anything, they got worse. So much so that I finally caved and did the most insane thing I could have ever done. I tried to communicate with Alex. Babe, sometimes I just feel a little underappreciated. Underappreciated? My mom barged into the room. Do you know what your father did the first time I cooked him dinner? He threw his plate across the room because I made him a meal he didn't like. They then started discussing right in front of me about how ungrateful and unappreciative I was. Guilt flooded my body, and in that moment, I genuinely believed I was the worst fiancé to ever exist. But one day, after weeks of attempting to win over Alex's love, he finally admitted something was missing in our relationship. Baby, as we approach marriage, I think it's time for you to quit your job. I stared at him blankly. He knew my career was everything to me, and I guess he noticed my sheepishness because that's when he clarified what he meant. A real wife focuses on home, not chasing useless ambitions. My throat clamped shut. If I knew things would turn out this way, I would have just stayed lonely. The air was thick with unease. That's when I finally spoke. I don't think things are gonna work out between us. Again, I was interrupted, but this time it was by Alex's laughter. A deep belly, earth-shattering roar. No wonder you've been single for so long. No man with options would ever pick you. He was practically rolling on the floor, pointing at me and laughing. I didn't say anything, just silently retreated to my bedroom. The next day, to my surprise, I woke up to breakfast in bed. Alex apologized profusely for how he acted and told me he was going to do better. His words lit up a spark in my stomach, so convincing me to take a few days off work to spend more time with him was a walk in the park. He had created a perfect distraction. Every day we were going on dates that truly felt magical, and I felt like a Disney princess. I guess that's the thing with love bombing. You never realize it's happening until afterwards. At the end of the few days, I wanted to go back to work with a bang, so I organized all my files and made sure everything was perfectly set up for me to impress everyone. But that didn't happen. It started with my key card not working at the door. Shock flooded my system, but I tried to console myself as security walked me up the stairs. There, I was met with Linda, the head of HR, and my boss. I thought they were going to scold me for taking a few days off, but instead, as I sat in the office, they pushed a stack of papers towards me. I flicked through them. My hands were trembling. I thought I was actually going to vomit. Someone had forwarded every confidential email in my inbox to every member of the company, the accounting team, the cleaners, the other paralegals, everyone. I tried to make my case, but they didn't care. And as I walked down the stairs carrying a box of my belongings, rage clawed at my throat. I knew Alex was behind this, but through my anger, I saw clarity. I knew he was just days away from proposing to me, and I knew if I said yes, then I could ruin his life from the inside out. I sat in my car outside the office building, hands still shaking as I gripped the steering wheel. The box of my belongings sat in the passenger seat, mocking me with its finality. My phone buzzed. Alex. I stared at his message asking if I wanted to meet for dinner to talk about my stressful day at work. The irony wasn't lost on me. I screenshot his text, capturing his fake concern, then typed back a simple yes. My phone rang immediately. Alex's voice dripped with honeyed sympathy, but I caught something else in the background, the distinct sound of glasses clinking in muffled celebration. My jaw clenched as I forced warmth into my voice, playing the devastated fiancé perfectly. The restaurant Alex chose was upscale, the kind of place that required reservations weeks in advance. He must have planned this. As we sat across from each other, he reached into his jacket pocket. My heart hammered as he pulled out a small velvet box. The ring sparkled under the dim lighting as he opened it. I forced my lips into a smile while my hand moved under the table, pressing record on my phone. He launched into a speech about our future together, and then, as if he couldn't help himself,